Everybody wants results until those results have a price. When somebody says that they're unsure about the investment, what's actually happening beneath the surface?
Well, there are a couple of things that come for me. There are a few reasons that people don't want to do something, but the biggest thing is a basic equation of what am I putting in and what am I getting out? If people in a fraction of a second are weighing this thing on a scale, like what do I think I'm putting into this, and what do I think I'm going to get out? Is it worth what I'm going to put in? Okay,
so you're talking about this value uncertainty. You've said before, I've heard you say this, we've had this conversation multiple times, that it's often not about the money. It's about the value that you imagine you're going to receive for the investment that you're going to make.
Sure.
Whether it be time, financial resources, energy, whatever the input is, the output needs to be disproportionate to.
Would you like examples?
Yeah.
Why does a doctor take out $300,000 worth of student loans?
I would imagine for the certainty of the career on the other side of that.
Yep. That's it. Why does someone take out a $500,000 mortgage on a house?
Because they value either the home that they're going to live in, how it's going to be perceived by other people.
Yeah. They'd rather be in debt for the next 30 years than not have a house.
Okay. So why does understanding this value uncertainty matter to the professionals who are listening to this, who they genuinely want to help people? Why is this going to be a helpful conversation for them to get insight into?
Oftentimes I see that practitioners like what they do and they believe that they're good at what they do. And in many cases they probably are. And they see a person and they look through how they can help the person through the lens of what they do and project that onto the person, instead of starting by understanding what the person wants and needs and why. So it starts there. Because if you start by understanding the person, instead of thinking about how can I apply my lens to this person, which is basically how can I make a hammer get this screw into this wood somehow, it's what does this person need? And then you find out whether or not what you can provide would even serve them. If the answer is no, you got nothing to sell. When you're in a position that you're certain that what you do would serve the other person, it becomes your job to help them see what would happen so they can decide for themselves, oh, is that actually something that I want to spend money on? Is that actually worth my time, money, and energy?
Do you have an example that you've used with a client?
An example of what?
An example of what you're describing, how you walk them through this process, how you take them from the very beginning, asking the questions, to understanding, to we should or we should not move forward together.
When I'm consulting with anyone, it's 99% questions, 1% tell. 99% ask, 1% tell. The only thing I'm telling someone is either you shouldn't do this based on everything I've just learned about you, here's why. Or you should do this based on everything I've just learned about you. The whole time is asking questions about what the person wants, what they need, what they would be most challenged by, the kind of support that's going to be most helpful to them, what they're looking for, why they're looking for that, how they came to this, what their concerns are along the way. And that creates a case the whole time. It creates a case for the person and for me to make a shared decision about how do we solve this case.
Okay. What are some elements here that we might not be thinking about, or professionals or coaches might not be thinking about? What's an example of a question that might be a better question for them to ask?
Then what? Better question than what?
Then, do you want to work together?
How long have you been looking for this kind of help?
We'll role play this. I think it'll be helpful.
Someone, just to be clear, someone might say, I haven't.
Yeah. Right. So exactly. You could have somebody who says, you're the first person I've talked to.
Got it. Do you want to role play here?
Yeah.
Happy to. Okay. How long have you been looking for this kind of help?
A couple of weeks. You're one of the first people I've talked to.
But just to be clear, this is something that you're decidedly looking for help with?
Yes.
Okay. What brought you to decide that you want this kind of help?
I saw my father getting sick, and he fell he had a really rough recovery after that, and it just really started to paint for me. I'm getting a little bit older. I need to start taking care of myself, and if I don't start now, when am I going to?
So you're in a position where you've seen where this could go if you don't get help with this.
Yes.
And that's a road you want to avoid.
Yes.
Okay. What's the problem if you go down the same road? Why is that consequential at all? Is it just selfishly, I don't want to experience that? Is it for someone else? What's the big deal?
I mean, yeah, there's a selfish component to it. I don't want to experience that. But also, my wife and my kids, I want to be able to be there for them and show up for them. I want to be an active dad and eventually an active grandfather.
Okay. So it's the ways that you can be present as a father, as a husband, eventually as a grandfather, the things that you get to enjoy selfishly, but also the things that they get to enjoy about you because you can be there in the ways you want. Mm-hmm. Okay, reasonable. Anything else?
I mean, career-wise, I imagine that if I'm, more physically capable and staying at a level of activity, I'm going to be able to stay in the workforce. I'm going to be able to keep earning. I'm going to be able to keep doing my job because I really do enjoy that.
Okay. I want to make sure that I can clearly point to, whether it's here or someone else, the direction that will serve precisely what you're looking for. If you cast vision for the next 12 months, and let's say you're decidedly going to go down a fork in the road that is far away from what your father did, what does it look like in your life? What are the metrics? How would you know if you were successful? What would that look like for you?
Over the next 12 months?
Yeah, just 12 months, 2 years. What's relatively short to middle term time frame?
We could do, I'm thinking maybe body composition, maybe blood work, checking my LDL, checking my cholesterol, my blood pressure, things like that could be an easy measure or metric.
Are those things you're already doing?
Yes.
Okay.
On a yearly basis.
So those are just things that you want to continue. If there were things that, when you look at the path that your dad went down and the path you want to take, what are the things that you would want to specifically make sure that you were getting help with that would allow you to say, I know I'm going down a different road than my dad did?
Strength training.
Okay. Why strength training?
That wasn't something I noticed he ever did. I mean, he had an active job and was an active guy, but he never really did that. And the fall really hit him hard. And I think if I have to imagine a big piece of that was that he wasn't taking care of himself. He wasn't strength training.
So kind of just like insurance.
Yeah.
You having strength is kind of like insurance, like a little more resilience. If something goes wrong, you're going to be in a better shape. Mm-hmm. Okay. What else besides strength training? By the way, are there places in your life where you don't feel strong right now, or you just see that as a general ingredient that would probably be good for you?
I mean, I'm strong enough right now to do all the things that I need to do.
So like life and work, you're strong enough for it. Mm-hmm. Are you just describing wanting like a bigger margin of strength, like a bigger buffer?
Yeah, more of a buffer.
Okay, I can get behind that. Besides life and work, are there activities that stand out in particular that you want to make sure that you can have more than enough strength for? Or it's more general than that?
In the winter, we like to go skiing and snowboarding. I want to continue to do that. We like to surf in the summer.
Okay.
And I want my kids to experience those activities as well.
You got to keep your snow, and your sea legs. Mm-hmm. Make sure kids can do it. Okay. Anything else?
Those are the big things.
All right. What else besides strength training would allow you to say, I'm decidedly on a better road than my dad?
Outside of the strength training, the health metrics that we had talked about.
You're just talking about regular screening with a doctor, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The blood work.
Okay.
Making sure that those are still trending in a good direction. Outside of that, those are the two big things that come up.
Okay. So making sure that medically or systemically your blood is indicating you're a generally healthy person. Maybe some other biomarkers that a medical professional could assess. But then further than that, it really sounds like you're just talking about being able to move and feel and perform the way that you want. Whether accidents happen or you just want to do activities that you want, there aren't any issues. You could basically do whatever you want to do.
Yep.
Okay. I'll pause here. How much further do you want to take this?
I think that's good.
Okay.
So walk us through your thought process there.
Right now, I'm in a position where I'm starting to see more and more what the guy wants, why he wants it. I'm starting to understand the basis of his decision making. How is he making decisions about what's important to him? What is he indicating are the ways to do that? Do those seem reasonable to me? Are these expectations reasonable to me? Are these things that I so far, with the limited knowledge I have, believe that I could promise him based on my skill set and my history? Or is he starting to indicate that there's something that I need to send him to someone else for? I already know that at least there are 2 practitioners that are required for what this guy wants. We need a medical professional, and we need someone who's going to improve his overall musculoskeletal health and performance. Right? So these are the things that I'm thinking about when I ultimately come down to a point where I make a recommendation around what this person should do. So there isn't anything that I'm trying to convince him of here. That's what's important to point out.
Yep. It's a lot of question asking, gaining clarity.
What I'm doing here is finding out what is the value for you. What's the value that you're pursuing? And a lot of times people don't know it. They need clarifying. What would be valuable for you? Like what's the greatest thing you can imagine here? And when you help them shape that for themselves, then you're just left with a simple decision. Can I do that or should someone else?
Well, that's the decision for you, correct?
Right.
On their side, the decision is what you're describing and in the way that you're describing it worth it to me?
They need to believe that. They need to believe when you say I can do that, and they need to decide is what is going to be required of me through you worth this best value ever that I just gave you.
Have you ever had somebody who you believed all of those things were in alignment? They think it's worth it. You think you can help them, and you still get to the end of that conversation and they're like, I don't know, I'm stuck on the money piece. I don't know if I can afford it.
Dude. I have a great one of these from recently. I was on a 2-day workshop with a 60-year-old gentleman. He has a corrective exercise business. His wife is nutrition, and they have been broke for a decade. Regular business on their own terms, broke for a decade. I'm talking about they're scraping. Kids, dog, the whole thing. Studio, 2 leases, right? 2 days on a workshop. He was like, I'm over the moon about this. 1 call, asking all the same kinds of questions about this guy as I just demonstrated that I would to make sure that I could be confident. Hey man, based on everything you're describing, this is perfect. He'd probably consumed 9 hours worth of additional content. We got on our second call. Okay, this is what I want. I believe unequivocally this is what I should do. My wife's away right now. I want to just like show her this number, make sure she doesn't see anything that I don't, and then I'm ready to rock and roll tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning comes, and it's, hey man, big surprise just happened. We just found out that our insurance costs might go way up, and there's no way that I can start this investment without knowing what that cost is going to be. Now, that's illogical to me. And it doesn't neither here nor there about why for now. That's illogical, because what this person is showing is that the basis of their decision making is when a condition is favorable, then they'll do the thing that they need to make the conditions favorable. But conditions haven't been favorable for 10 years.
We talked about that on the last episode. This was the temporal displacement.
Yes, it's similar, but this is different. And here's where it gets real. Here's where it gets real hairy. And this is where you can literally only walk a horse to water. You can even like gently tap their snout in the water. You can't do more than that, because then it's just kind of that's unethical, right? Mm-hmm. I'm going to cut all the way to the chase here. I ended the call after this. Let me make sure that I'm clear about this, my friend. You and your wife are in a rowboat in rough seas right now. You have been for 10 years, right? Right. An aircraft carrier is pulling up next to you that you want to be. It is literally the aircraft carrier that you're saying, I wish I've known about and I would like to be on, right? Yes. You perceive we're that aircraft carrier, correct? Yes. You believe you're capable of doing everything we would teach you to do. Yes. You believe that if you did this, it would work. Like when we project these numbers out, logically, that you're going to be in a great position based on what we're going to ask you to do step by step by step. Yes. What it sounds like right now is that in your rowboat from the aircraft carrier, I am asking you, please throw me your rope ladder so that I can rig this up and you can get on this rope ladder. And what you're saying is, I don't want to give you my rope ladder. I might need it. Yes, that's correct. Got it. I can't help you, man. And we left it at that.
Have you had a similar instance with an in-person client? Something that a professional who's listening to this could take away some. I think there's a lot of value there if they can extrapolate that into working with people one-on-one. Have you had a similar instance working with somebody one-on-one?
Sure. I mean, you bump up against the same thing. Like the aircraft carry is you helping them with their physical fitness and their health in the way that they've been looking for. Their rowboat is the fact that they have felt like crap for a while. It's not getting any better. They've done all of the things. So now the person is in a position where they either don't believe that you can help them, or they're describing, I want the help, but I don't want the help as bad as is going to cost me to get it. All right. No worries, man. Like when you go to a steakhouse, you're like, listen, I really want this ribeye, but can you do it for less than 72? What restaurant would you expect would bargain with you on that?
Yeah, that's a really interesting example, because I've seen coaches, trainers, or professionals try to match the market or what they think that the market would demand, right? This is where the 30-minute sessions, 60-minute sessions thing starts to come in.
Yep.
Like, no, I can't do, like, it's $120 for 60 minutes, but I'll do 60 for 30.
Yep. Yeah, look, like one lesson that I've had to learn the hard way, that was a particularly sticky one for me, and I know a lot of coaches who have an easier time of this, but I historically have had a harder time letting people go that weren't super eager. Like I fought for them harder than they wanted to be fought for. And I've had a hard time with that historically, but over the last couple of years, I've gotten much more efficient at letting that happen, because what I realized is there are a lot of other people that are being unattended to because I'm staying focused on this. So if you've done your job and there's an complete, clear, logical case that both people have explicitly said, I see the case for how this would work, and yes, that's what I want, but I'm unwilling to spend this to get that, that's okay. That doesn't mean that you're too much. It means that this person doesn't want that as much as this costs for you. And for you to change what you would get out of this deal is to compromise on what you need in your life. So it's not a good deal. For a good deal, it's got to be a good deal for both parties.
It's got to be a win-win.
It's got to be a win-win. Discounts aren't a win-win.
Yeah.
Discount is a win-loss. You're the loser.
Yeah, certainly. And I think one of the things you were describing there that is, this is how I've always told people that I sell differently than I think either you or Sean may have historically, is my projection is that you enjoy or have enjoyed in the past that kind of, like, persuasion's not the right word, but the wrestling match that could be sales. I know I believe Sean certainly enjoys that. Being able to help somebody work through all of the objections and get to the other side to a yes. And for me, when that comes up and we've done all of the question asking, okay.
I get it. I think that what a lot of people don't know, and I think that a lot of coaches here might be able to resonate with and are afraid that clients don't know, is that I might enjoy the wrestling match in and of itself, but what I'm focused on is waiting for things to line up in such a way that, like, people's gears click into the freedom from the problem that they've been looking for and the escape from the trap that I know is possible for them. Like, I'm holding what I see for them that I know will be true if they do it. And it pains me to let them stay in it. It literally pains me to let them stay in it. And so I fight for it because I want the pain to go away. And there have been enough times on the other side where people have, like, sent me novels of appreciation, literally saying, I know I gave you a headache. Thank you for fighting for me for this. That makes it worth doing, but I'm getting better at calibrating, like, all right, well, where do I need to stop here?
One thing that I imagine would be valuable to close on here is, how do you calibrate that now? How would somebody who's they're talking to a prospect, they've been having the conversation for days, weeks, they might have even gone through the consultative process, and they're in the follow-up phase. How do you decide when it's time to cut the person loose?
Entirely arbitrarily. You literally just have to ask yourself, how much more am I willing to put into this in order for them to decide this is a good idea? Is it 2 more hours of conversation with them? Is it 3? Is it 18 more podcasts that I sent them? Is it 5 more conversations between this, them, and the other thing? Is it 6 more weeks of letting them think about it? Like, what's What's too much for you? Like, just decide. Get to the point where you're like, no, I wouldn't do that. That feels like a waste of my time. When you get to that point, that's your cutoff. Just ask yourself. Just take an honest audit.
The interesting piece of this conversation for me is the cost-value equation, that value uncertainty that goes both ways.
Absolutely. You like every practitioner here that is listening to this knows how much they put into helping their clients. If you're here, I assume that anyone listening to this is not mailing it in for their clients. Right. They're going hard for their clients right now. And you have to start thinking that, like, who really deserves the attention and the energy that you are going to take away from yourself and away from other people that you care about and in some cases depend on you to give to this person. Like, be judicious about who gets that, because it is a two-way street here. And ultimately, like, if you guys have a very clear understanding of what they would get and the person is telling you, yes, I want that. Yes, I believe that you can do that for me. Yes, I believe I would get it if I did this. And I don't want to spend this to do it. That is someone who is just saying that outcome is not worth this. In which case you can say, look, I don't know where else you can get this for cheaper. And I promise you, as soon as I find someone that tells me they can promise you this for cheaper, I'm going to immediately put you two on text message. Would you like me to do that? Yes. In the meantime, best of luck. If you do find someone that can successfully do these things for you for cheaper, please let me know, because I need to figure out how they're doing things more efficiently than I am.
It's great.
Thank you.
Anything else on this value equation?
No. I think yes. I would say no, and then I say thing. So yeah, maybe I think that coaches need to do a better job of deciding what, like you said, what is healthily selfish for them. And start to understand that there isn't anything wrong with you because someone doesn't want it. I think Maya Angelou wrote, you can be the sweetest, juiciest peach in the world. There's always going to be someone who doesn't like peaches. And your job isn't to try to turn yourself into an orange if you're trying to sell a peach. And your job is not to get someone who doesn't like peaches to like peaches. Your job is to find out who's in the market for peaches. I'm in the market for peaches, bro. I haven't found any good peaches in like 4 summers. I'm being serious right now.
I know.
I had my friends from Colorado send me a box of Palisades peaches because they were raving about it. They were trash.
Well, best peaches come from Georgia. I think everybody knows that.
That's what I said, and they were like, you haven't tried Palisade peaches. I'm going back to Georgia peaches. My point is, I'm looking for peaches. If you got peaches, I will pay you over market rate for good peaches. You guys got to be looking for the me's of your business, right?
Yeah. Where the value disproportionately exceeds
correct
what they're going to get out of it exceeds the cost. Those are my favorite consultations to have. By the time we get to the end of the conversation and they're like, okay, let's go. Let's do this. It's not I need to think about it, or I don't know. It's all like, those are so fun because you know that the person who's sitting across from you is all in on doing the thing.
Yeah. You can predict their success by how they enroll.
Yes.
Can you?
Yeah. It's the energy, the enthusiasm that they enroll with. Are they going to arbitrarily throw up roadblocks or obstacles, or are they going to present those roadblocks or obstacles and then be a part of creating the path through them or over them?
That's it. Good walkthrough here. I appreciate that.
See you out there.
I hope you enjoyed that episode of the Active Life podcast. If you did, please head to wherever you listen and leave us that 5-star rating. It really does go a long way. 5 stars goes a long way. Please leave them. If you're interested in working with us as a coach, remember, we help coaches from around the world build fulfilling careers, working with clients they're inspired to help so they never have to worry about being able to pay your bills again. No one's ever going to ask you if you are going to get a real job when you work with Active Life. All you have to do, head into the show notes, click the link that you find there, download our curriculum. That will give you a feel for what it is going to take for you to be successful. A team member of ours will reach out to you to find out if it's a fit for us to work together. Till the next show, turn pro.